So yeah, it's my pleasure to be with you this morning and to bring with you a short Christmas message, gospel message. So children, young people, youth, young adults, seniors, whatever you want to call them. This is an all-age service, so the bad news is that there's no Searchlight Club for you, there's no youth club, but the good news is that I'm here to bring an all-service message. So it would be great if all children were focusing, looking at the front, because I've got some questions for you coming up. I need your help to answer them. So, I'm talking about the Jesus is here, because that's what Christmas is all about, isn't it? We're celebrating the fact that Jesus came down to earth to be with us. So Jesus is here. And my little theme for my message is to do with that we're welcoming the superhero of Christmas. And I'm sure you can guess who I'm talking about there. Clue, it's not Superman. I wonder if you could help me. Who likes superhero movies? Yeah, I think most of us do. For me, they're quite safe films, aren't they? We kind of know what's going to happen even before we turn it on. We're going to get some kind of backstory. We're going to get introduced to the character. They're going to learn about their skills. They're going to kind of learn about who they are. They're going to have some victories. They're going to make some mistakes. A big baddie comes along and they nearly lose, and you think they're going to lose. But no, they never do. They always win in the end, don't they? So, children, can you help me? Who do you think this is? Who's that? Shout it out. You think that's Thor? Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, you're right. It's Thor. Who we got next? Yeah, that's right. That's Iron Man. And finally, probably the hardest one. Ooh, who could that be? Any other guesses? No, because he's right. It is Captain Marvel. That's right. So there's a few examples of superheroes. And apologies if you're watching online, because you probably didn't see those because copyright. We don't need to be a little bit careful. But we can you can imagine, can't you? You know what they look like. So yeah, we've seen those three superheroes. And there's also it's quite a nice discussion to say, who's your favourite superhero? Why? And, who would win if these two superheroes had a fight? Who would be the best superhero of them all? And there's a game, isn't there, called Top Trumps, which is all about that, isn't it? It's all about comparing things with each other, deciding which one is the best. Top Trumps, I don't know how many different versions there are. There must be hundreds of different versions, looking at cars, for example, or sports things, different characters from different things. And here are some that are looking at these three superheroes that we just mentioned. And I should say that there's no real right or wrong answer for these. Somebody, or I guess maybe a team of people, have got to sit down and decide what numbers to put in. And some of them we agree with and some we disagree with. If you're really into the Marvel franchise, which I must say I'm kind of not. I'm not quite at that level. But yeah, Captain Marvel seems to be a bit of a cheat, really. It's like she's too good. But yeah, I've had a go at kind of balancing them out a little bit. So yeah, we've got Thor, for example, who is very, very strong. But is he really, really quick? Well, not really. He can kind of do a bit of a flying trick with his hammer, can't he? But yeah, he's not as fast as Iron Man, who can fly about the place. Style points. So yeah, again, that's difficult to kind of put into into numbers, isn't it? But I'll give an Iron Man the best style points because he can sort of transform, and he's got a load of gadgets and missiles and things that come out. So yeah, I've given him the highest mark there for style, but you get the idea. So where am I going with this? Well, let's have a look at this prophecy here. So online, you're now back with us. You can see all the slides now from now on. So this is a very famous bit of text here from the prophet Isaiah. So if you've been taught this before, what a prophet is, but I'll just remind you. So a prophet was somebody, and they're still around today, that hear from God and then kind of write down or speak out the message that they've been given. So this was written many hundred years, I think 700 years before Jesus came around. It says, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Some of those terms we sang about in our carols already this morning. "Of the increase of government and of his peace there will be no end, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this." So this is what the people of God had, this prophecy. They had this promise. So I'm saying, they were looking forward to a superhero. They were looking forward to this prophecy being fulfilled because it sounds so impressive. All of the things that they're going to do and the fact that there's going to be no end to this kingdom. When I kind of read this again, as it is, when you read the Bible, different things kind of jump out at you each time that you read it. And for me, it just read that last sentence there. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. So first of all, I guess you could ask, well, who is the Lord of hosts? Okay, you're probably thinking it's God. Well, yeah, you're right. So the host is basically all of the heavenly realm. Those are all the hosts. And so the Lord of hosts is the person in charge of all of the heavenly places, all the people that dwell, all of the beings that dwell in the heavenly realm. So that, of course, is God. But what about zeal, children? That might be a word that you've not heard of before, or you're not quite sure what zeal means. So I had a little look, and this is what we got. The zeal is a feeling of strong eagerness, usually in favor of a person or a cause, or a great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an objective. So there you go, children. That's a word that you can impress your teachers with. The next time you're doing a little story, you could just slip that. It's obviously quite a small word, quite easy to spell, so you can just whip that in there and look really, really smart in front of your teachers. So that's what zeal is. It is about, basically, for me, it's like enthusiasm. It is like you really, really want something to happen, and you're going to make sure that it does happen. So if we go back to the text, so all of this is going to be achieved. This prophecy is going to be achieved through the zeal of God. He was really looking forward to do it, really enthusiastic to do this, to give us his son, to give us Jesus. And that just spoke to me, the fact that it wasn't a case of kind of reluctantly giving us Jesus, or it wasn't a case of, they've messed up so bad that I suppose I'm going to have to do this. He was really eager to do it. So what did the people kind of end up with, I suppose? When the superhero arrived, what did he look like? Well, he looked like this. And I hope you don't don't feel that I'm being sort of blasphemous by these marks. But what I'm saying is that if you were to judge the baby Jesus by the standards of the superheroes and the top trumps that I had earlier, he's not a very good card. He'll be the weakest card in the deck. You're like, oh no, I've got Jesus. Oh no, I'm going to lose that one. Because, strength. Well, he's a baby. He was fully human, fully human baby form. So, he had the heavenly realms, looking out for him. But, as a baby, not very strong at all. Speed. Well, he was put in a manger. He's going to stay there. He's a baby. Style. Well, he wasn't born in a palace, was he? He wasn't born in an inn. There was no room. He was in a stable, as we know, in with all the animals, which, on the Christmas cards looks quite fun, doesn't it? It looks quite cozy. Oh, yeah. Nice to have some lambs about the place. I think it would have been a bit messy and a bit smelly. So, style points, no. Fighting skills, well, again, he's a baby, so, not going to do too well there either. So, some of the people, when Jesus arrived, were probably a bit confused, or this happened throughout Jesus' life, that people were kind of expecting one thing and then got something slightly different. But there are clues in the prophecy. For example, one of the things that we're talking about is being a prince of peace. So, it sounds quite mighty, but a prince of peace, well, we're not actually going to get this kind of warrior type, are we? That is going to bring peace. And then there's another prophecy as well. I'm looking at Zechariah this time. That again gives us a clue as to the fact that this superhero that we're expecting, might be a little bit different to the normal kind of warrior type that we might be looking for. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you. Righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." Again, we know from the Jesus' story that's exactly what happened. But it gives us a clue. This amazing king, this superhero, is going to be humble. And again, not many of the superheroes are humble types, are they? Iron Man in particular, not humble. So let's think about something else now. Children, again, you can help me with this next slide. Because, superheroes, they're all about the baddies, aren't they? Superhero movies would be pretty boring if there wasn't actually anything to fight against. If Superman spent all of his time just being Clark Kent and writing in the newspaper, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? So, for example, Mario. Who does Mario fight? Alex, don't you? Who does Mario fight? Bowser, that's right. That's his baddie. He wants to. Oh, Bowser's always messing it up, capturing Princess Peach, locking her up. And Mario's always got to come in and save the day. Although I think that they have addressed that in the kind of the modern versions. Peach isn't a walkover anymore. Peach can sort of look after herself, which I think is a good move. Superman. Who does Superman fight? Lex Luthor, amongst others. There are other baddies, but the kind of the main one that I think of certainly is Lex Luthor. And what about Paw Patrol? Maybe this is for the younger audience. Who did the Paw Patrol fight, or battle against, or try and solve problems? Alex, do you want to do that? Mayor Humdinger, that's right. If you've not seen the series, that won't mean anything to you. But we've got this Mayor Humdinger, who's he's not really evil, but he's always trying to get to be in charge. and the Paw Patrol come and sort him out. And then what about Jesus? So what about our superhero of Jesus? Kind of who's he fighting? What's he fighting against? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, that's a good answer, Phoebe. Say again? Sins, yeah, that's right. I think there are some lots of different answers. Yeah, the devil is a good one, yeah, Satan, certainly fighting against him. Again, the people at the time, they were thinking, well, maybe he's going to fight the Romans, because they were the power at the time. They didn't really like the way that they were bossing them about. So they're like, oh yeah, maybe Jesus is going to fight them. In the Bible, we hear Jesus clashing with the Jewish leaders. And he goes, so maybe he's there to fight them. But yeah, I think if I had to sum it up in one word, Levi, I would go with you. I would say, yeah, sin. That's what Jesus is fighting. It's not a person as such, but it is a big, big problem, and he's going to tackle that. And how does he do it? It's great to share the gospel, by the way. You know, you can share it in lots and lots of different ways, and each time it is really exciting to go through. So, children, eyes on the screen. Here we go. I've got this. This is my interpretation for today. We've got God, or have we got us first? I can't remember. Matt, what is it first? It's God. God first. There's God. And then we've got us. We've got people. And we have access to God. But then we have sin coming in. So sin is a problem. So sin is doing things against God's will, going against what he says. When we lie, when we cheat, when we steal, when we put ourselves first. All these things get in the way of us getting to God. So that relationship is broken. But our superhero, Jesus, comes into the world and he's going to fix it. And he died on the cross. I'm kind of showing him, kind of shielding us from the sin. I mean, no kind of illustration is perfect, but that's what I'm showing here. And that means that this link between us and God can be restored, which means that we can have God with us. And say because of what Jesus has done, because of kind of who Jesus is, we can have God with us. Thank you. So yeah, I had a bit of fun on PowerPoint putting that together. And yeah, it is great to see that and can say there's so many different ways in which you can explain the gospel. And that's just the one that I've picked here this morning. And that is why Jesus is the superhero of Christmas. And actually, as far as Top Trumps is concerned, we can have this actually. We can have the risen Jesus. You know, where we're judging him by slightly different marks and characteristics. So Jesus is full of love. He's 10 out of 10 for love. He's 10 out of 10 for power. You know, God is all powerful, and Jesus is God, so he has all the power, and he's got all the authority as well. So when Jesus makes a promise, you know, he's got the authority and the power to back it up as well. But not only that, he's full of compassion. And that's great news for us as well, that he cares for us. He's full of life. He rose from the dead. So yeah, he's full of life and he wants to give that to us. And he's 10 out of 10 for knowledge as well. So he knows everything. And he knows us. He knows our hearts. He knows us personally. I'll put down speed, but I suppose I'm talking about another complicated word, which you could make, well, a bit more difficult to put this into your English texts. He's omnipotent, which means he's everywhere. So yeah, he's everywhere at once. So yeah, in terms of speed, well, he doesn't actually have to move because he's already there. And zeal, again, remember that word we used earlier, enthusiasm. So yeah, Jesus is for us. He is really enthusiastic about you and about your life and about talking to you and restoring that relationship with God. Remember, I talked earlier in that gospel message about God with us. And this is, again, a verse from the Bible. I like this because it's Matthew 1, 2, 3. Makes it nice and easy to remember, doesn't it? Chapter 1, verse 23. 1, 2, 3. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. And saying that's why we're celebrating, is because we have to have God with us through Jesus. Got one more question for you, children. A little bit nervous about the answers we're going to get to this, but let's have a what do you think the biggest difference between Jesus and the other superheroes? Shout out. What do you think? What's the biggest difference? What do you think? Shout it out nice and loud. Can't hear. Say again. That's right. Jesus loves people, doesn't he? And I think Alex said he loves people that are being mean. I think that's really good. That's really deep, Alex. Yeah, because a lot of superheroes, they see, right, there's a bad person, right, get them, put them in jail, that's it, done. Whereas Jesus, he wants to deal with the bad people for sure, but he loves them as well. I think that's really very, very good. Good. Any other answers? Maybe adults. What's the biggest difference? Lisa. Yeah, that's right. Real. Jesus is real. So all of these superheroes that we've got, they're not real. They're just made up. Someone's, drawn them out, sketched them out on a piece of paper, coloured them in, made them into a comic, made them into a film, but they're not real. Jesus is real. And he's alive today. So thank you, children, for listening so very well. This is the message of Christmas. This is a superhero of Christmas. And this might lead you on to lots of other questions. So say, well, how does that work? And how does Jesus protect us from our sins? How does the cross work? So yeah, this is an opportunity for you today. If you're kind of new to this message, if you've got questions about what's going on, then it's an opportunity to talk to people. You can talk to us, rugeleycc.org.uk, or whatever it is. hello@rugeleycc.org.uk. You can, if you're watching online. If you're here, talk to us. We've got some fellowship time coming up. It'd be great to speak to you more about what this is all about. And one thing that I was kind of thinking about in preparation for this was the fact that, Christmas, from a kind of worldly perspective, is quite Jesus-light to start with. And also it's like everything's happy. We wear our very loud jumpers, don't we? And, we have nice food and everything's happy. But life is still life, and life is still tough. And so, maybe it is that you're not feeling particularly merry this Christmas or today. So, this is an opportunity for you to come forward and be prayed for, because, it is a celebration that Jesus came to here, but in some respects, today is the same as yesterday. There's still those hardships around. There's still those problems. And so we have a Jesus who is full of love, full of power, full of compassion. And he wants to meet with you this morning.